The Sports Scouting Report with Lee Burkeen. Brought to you by Medines Collision Center in Baton Rouge. Take control, choose Medines. Grosse Savant Lodge, south of Lake Charles, the true sportsman's paradise. Treads and Care Company in Central, the tires you need, the service you want. Harvey Auto in Shreveport, Bossier City, the name you have trusted for years. And Gage in Baton Rouge. Get better connected with Gage. Here's your host, Lee Burkeen.
Hi everyone, I'm Lee Burkeen, host of the Sports Scouting Report podcast. We've got a great guest today, Coach Danny Broussard, who's been coaching basketball. He's one of the longest tenured coaches in the state of Louisiana for basketball since 1986 at St. Thomas More High School. I graduated in 1989. I mean, that's 3 years before my graduation. But Danny is joining us. He's won 6 state championships. We're going to talk about his big-time resume, and we're going to talk basketball, which is going to be fun, recruiting, whatever we can legally talk about in the sport, we're going to talk about. We'll be right back.
Listen, whatever you're driving right now, Tommy Harvey wants it. Bring it in to Harvey Subaru, Lexus of Shreveport, Bossier City, or John Harvey Toyota. They're paying big bucks for all trades right now. They'll cut you a check right there. Tell them Lee sent you.
What does that bug man do?
Not only do we do pest control, we do odor control, bat removal, moisture control, rodents, and of course, bed bug control. Give the bug man a call. We get them before they get you.
Welcome back. Glad everybody's joining us. We've got a great basketball show. I love basketball. People think I just talk football, having football, Louisiana Football Magazine, but I grew up playing basketball, not very tall, but very competitive, loved the game, still watch college basketball. That is my preference, high school and college basketball. But we have one of the great high school coaches in the country, not just Louisiana, at St. Thomas More High School, Danny Broussard, 6 state championships, 6, going back, and I said 86, going back to 1982 at St. Thomas More. And I've got to mention before we brag about you more, Coach, you got a great story about where you went to high school.
Yeah.
It's no more and it's no Mo in existence, but it was
called.
called.
They say no Mo, but it's Mo. I went to Mo High School. I was a little public school down there in Vermilion Parish. Played basketball. We only had 3 sports: basketball, baseball, and track. Obviously, I did all 3 of those. No, there was no football at Mo, but had a great high school experience. Matter of fact, we have a Hall of Fame coach. Raymond Rupert was a Hall of Fame coach at Mo High School at the time. Wow. Yeah, had some good coaches. My brother Ricky actually coached me for my freshman, sophomore years. Then we chased him out of town, and you chased him out. So
done with him. Coach of the Year, 4 times, 18 Final Four appearances. Incredible coach. Over 1,114 wins, only 345 losses. One losing season in 40 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
57 of your former players have become coaches at some level. 8 college coaches.
Yeah.
That's impressive, Coach. Inducted in Louisiana High School Basketball Association Hall of Fame in 2018. Unbelievable. I mean, we can go on average 27.9 wins per year. The 1987 team ranked 21st in the United States in the USA Today poll. 20 state championships in 3 different sports. The school is incredible at St. Thomas More. We're going to talk about that later.
Yeah.
All the famous alumni in basketball, football, baseball, and you've got a couple that you want to mention in business, but married to Dina Landry Broussard of Abbeville, 39 years. That's your most impressive stat.
That's an impressive stat, and bless her, she's an awesome lady, and she's put up with a lot of stuff, Lee. But I've been very fortunate. And got 3 beautiful kids, and I've been really blessed.
And your wife teaches in the DEC program at Our Lady of Fatima.
Yeah, and my daughter does as well. And my other daughter's a nurse, and my son does not say landscaping. I'm sorry. I'm having a mental block.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
No.
So, but 3 great kids.
Great. We're going to talk about your team that you have coming back later in the show as well. But, Coach, any stories that stick out in basketball? You've had a bunch of guys recruited.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about some of your players.
Yeah.
But anything you'd like to share, some of your former college coaches, assistants that coached with you?
Yeah. Lee, I've been really blessed, man. I've had some great coaches. It all started off when I got the job at STM. Just to give people a little background. So I'm a 21-year-old kid that just graduated from USL. 1982, August of '82, and I actually was offered the head coaching job at Hanson, and so I'm debating between Hanson and just as a freshman coach at St. Thomas More. Believe it or not, the pay was a little bit more at STM. You're a young kid, you're like Lafayette, Franklin. I'm going to stay in Lafayette and make a little bit more money, not even married at the time. So take the STM job. My brother Ricky is the head coach. He comes from Fatima. We consolidated. I'm the freshman football, freshman basketball, freshman baseball coach, okay? The next year starts, Steve Reese, who was Ricky's assistant, decides he's going to leave to become a doctor. He's like 30 years old. He said, I'm going to become a doctor. And guess what? He is a doctor. Well, they moved me up to like the JV coach, right? Okay. The school year starts. Ricky gets a call from Bobby Pascal.
You're 21 years old.
I'm 22 now, the second year, 22. Get a call, hey, Ricky, I need an assistant coach. Would you be interested? My brother Ricky calls me in, says, hey, guess what? I got offered to coach at USL. I said, when, next year? He goes, next year? He said, next week. I said, well, who's going to coach STM? There's me and him in the room. He looks around, he goes, you are.
You're the only one left.
And I'm thinking, Lee, you're not ready for that.
Yeah.
You're an assistant coach. You go to practice every day, but to be in charge and have to run practices, it's a whole different ballgame. And I'm telling you, I was scared to death. And said, well, there wasn't any choice. You couldn't hire anybody else, right? So I'm 22, take over. We win this year, we have a pretty good year, but we lose our first playoff game. So I'm like, well, that was a nice little run. STM certainly gonna got hire somebody with some more experience. Jake Baller was the AD and head football coach. Okay. And I coached football. I told you I coached football.
I didn't know that.
Lee, another little side story on that. I coached it for 1 year, freshman football. We went 0-8. Oh. Yeah, it wasn't too good. But the worst part was we didn't even score a point. So the next year we start school. Follies. I asked Jake. I said, Jake, you didn't tell me when does freshman football start? He goes, Coach, I got you covered. You just stick to basketball. So that was the end of my football career. 1 year, 0-8, the worst record.
Existence for St. Thomas More. Coach gets the job. The first year of St. Thomas More is 82. First year. Yes. And then what's amazing, Danny, and I didn't even realize this, but I did, but Jim Hightower, the longevity between you and Jim at one school. Is amazing.
It really is. Jim's been there for
football.
For football. And he came in about the fourth year of the school. So Jim's been there about 37 years and I've been there 41. So it does say something. And Coach Perkins just left in baseball and he was there for about almost 20 years. So we've had some good longevity. I think it says something about our program. We're very blessed at St. Thomas More. We got, good leadership. They support athletics, a lot. And so we've been very fortunate. And Jim's a great guy. We have a great relationship. I'm going to tell you this I got so many stories we could sit here for 5 hours. But I want to tell you, I'll tell you something about Jim. I don't know any other football coach that would have done this. Carter Domingue was a great athlete for us. And this was on our run of 4 state championships. Carter decides he's going to go play football. He hadn't played since his freshman year. So, man, I'm like, God, Carter, I want him to play, but I'm like thinking, man, I really need him at the beginning of the year. I go to Coach Hightower. I say, Coach, look, Carter Domingue's a Division I basketball athlete. I said, you think we could work together where he could not miss any games and play? Carter Domingue played at the Centerville tournament on a Thursday night, scored 15 points. On Friday, he caught a touchdown pass in a state playoff game, and on Saturday, he scored 20 and was the MVP of the tournament. That I don't think that's ever happened in high school sports in Louisiana. Just goes to show you the relationship Jim and I have together.
And that was the other receiver with him, Carter Arsenault, I believe. They had a good tandem, right?
A little point guard for me. Oh, I tell you what, man, you're pretty good, Lee. I
got to remember some guys.
That's pretty sharp. I like that.
Some players I want to mention before we take a break. We can't get them all. We're going to say a little bit each time. Law Mouton, one of Coach's former players, baseball American under Skip Bertman at LSU. Jamie Howard, former quarterback at LSU. Rocky Selfo, the late Rocky Selfo, was a great football and baseball player at STM. Went to LSU, ended up going to ULL. Mikey Matuk, how can we not mention Mikey? Was a great football player. At St. Thomas More as well.
Great. And they tell you something else. He was a pretty dang good basketball player too. I couldn't convince him to keep coming out because he knew it was going to be football. I think the baseball coach at the time told him, you better be careful. You might lose your spot if you play basketball.
Well, Mikey would have been a great rebounder for you.
He was good as a sophomore. I'm telling you, he would have played. He'd have given some good minutes, but he did what he needed to do.
Being a small forward, 6'1".
Yeah,
for you.
Right.
We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more of our guests. Danny Broussard from St. Thomas More High School. You're watching the Sports Scouting Report. We'll be right back.
Grosavon Lodge, the true sportsman's paradise. Grosavon Lodge has fresh and saltwater fishing, alligator hunting, waterfowl hunting, and eco tours located south of Lake Charles, Louisiana. Give them a call at 337-598-2357. That number to call again is 337-598-2357, and have the time of your life. Listen, whatever you're driving right now, Tommy Harvey wants it. Bring it in to Harvey Subaru, Lexus of Shreveport, Bossier City, or John Harvey Toyota. They're paying big bucks for all trades right now. They'll cut you a check right there. Tell them Lee sent you.
Before we go back to our guest, Danny Broussard, St. Thomas More High School, be sure to support our great restaurant here, the Giulio Italian Brothers restaurant here on Perkins Road, which is near Acadian. It's a rock throw from LSU's campus. They have a great brunch, 10:30 to 2, and they have the regular menu. You usually don't get the regular menu on Sundays at some of these restaurants, but they have great homemade pastas, desserts. I love the red velvet. I also love the chicken parmesan, the homemade meatballs, the homemade garlic bread. I don't know, I'm big on that, Coach.
Sounds good.
Spaghetti and meatballs are hard to beat, and also the homemade romaine salads. Really good stuff here. Going back to Danny and St. Thomas More, Danny Broussard, our head coach. Want to mention some former greats from the school. We can do this all day long, but Andrew Stevenson played at LSU, looking to get back into majors. He's a free agent. Josh Stevenson, very talented. His brother played football. Both of them did at STM. Josh, I think, would make a great free safety, Coach Kelly. He's not a starter in baseball right now. He's 6'1", 200.
He's pretty
He was
good.
all state in football. They need a safety on the football team. Josh Stevenson, if you're watching this, go out for the football team. I'd love to see you play football. Luke Lawton was the lone fullback to ever come out of STM, went to McNeese, was the starting fullback in the Super Bowl with Peyton Manning with the Colts.
Got him a ring.
The Saints beat him, which was good.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Sorry, Luke. And Javon Walker, who was a great receiver in the NFL for the Raiders and the Packers. Super gifted.
Yeah.
Did you have him in basketball?
He played his freshman sophomore year. Then he stopped as well. I lost a lot of.
He lost a few.
Lost a few good ones that could have played, but I know you're going to mention his name later. But I did not lose Jack Besh, and he was a
heck of a player.
He was a hell of a player for us. I love that kid. He goes to war when it's time to go to war.
Coach, speaking of your guys, you gave us some highlights of two of your guys. We're going to talk about all your players, but the first one I want to talk about is your scoring machine.
Yeah.
Michael Mouton, who averaged 17 points a game, going to be, I believe, a senior this coming year.
Yes.
6'3", good size. We're going to roll some film on Michael Mouton. What do you think of Michael's game?
Yeah, I tell you, they tease me about the Moutons. We've had Moutons.
Lyle Mouton.
Yeah, we had. I mean, Eric Mouton, Brandon Mouton, and they none of them are hardly related. But this family here has all played for me. All his uncles and his dad played for me. So we know the family well, and we knew, it's you go to the gym and you see him as a 5-year-old and he's got a basketball. When they call a timeout, he's out there shooting the rock, man. Oh yeah, they had to chase him off the court. Man. But Michael's done a really good job for us. He can score the basketball. He's got some length to him, and he offensively really he has a lot of skills, a lot of tools, and I think he's gonna have a great senior year. We've
got some video right here on Chad Jones. Not LSU Chad Jones, but your Chad Jones.
Yes.
He's going to be a senior coming up. He's a forward for you. It's always good to say 6'8" in height.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And he's 180, I guess, 175.
Yeah.
He can shoot. Average 14 points a game for you?
Average 14 a game for us, yeah. Chad's kind of a unique player. He's not really a player with his back to the basket. He doesn't really feel comfortable with that. So we've tried to, kind of get him in our offense to where he can shoot the three. He's a decent out 3-point shooter. But Chad gets a lot of offensive rebounds. He changes the game on the defensive end, Lee. He blocks a lot of shots. He changes a lot of shots, and man, he's a rebounding machine for us. And he's been big for us. And I'm thinking he's going to have a really great senior year, and I'm sure he's going to be highly recruited. Two other guys I want to mention, two of your players. Manuel Willis, guard, going to be a senior, 6'1". Yeah. What do you think of Manuel? Yeah, Manuel's he's got a lot of ability. Manuel, we're trying to get him to be a little bit more consistent shooter, but boy, he can get to the rim in a hurry. He finishes around the rim, and he point guard wise, he distributes. He gets to the open guys, and kind of what you want to see in a point guard.
Facilitator.
Yeah, no doubt.
Number 5, Jersey 5, another good player for you, Coach. Anthony Angel. I know how to say that name being around the city
He's
for
Bro Bridge
guy.
connection there. Yeah.
6'4".
Yeah. Anthony's, and matter of fact, in the playoff game, we were kind of struggling to score, and he had a big playoff game for us where against Carr, we were struggling. Carr plays great defense, and he wound up scoring 10 points, and he came off the bench. Him and this kid named Hayes Regard are both the same kind of a player. They both can kind of shoot it, and they're both, got a lot of minutes this year, but not starters, but are going to be a big part of our hopefully our success next year.
One more kid that's going to be that this past year did a great job for you. I want to mention, even though he graduated, he's going to graduate, is Mason Guillory.
Yeah,
he's a good player for you this past
Mason was
year.
an all-district player for us. And Mason was one of those guys that kind of did a little bit of everything, but man, opened up the game last year against Como. He scored, and we were struggling to score, but he wasn't. He scored, I think, 28, if I'm not mistaken, 28 in the opening game, and I'm like, man, now, he didn't average 28. Now it's 28, but you could tell, and he really, when we had to have some buckets, he was our kind of guy that could get us a bucket. He could create shots on his own.
And I want to mention a football player who's a senior this year.
Yeah.
I saw him in football, a great DB, Nicholas Beckwith. A lot of Beckwiths come out of STM.
A lot of Beckwiths, yeah.
6'2" safety for
going to the Air Force.
Air Force Academy.
And I'll tell you, he probably played his best game against me. Unfortunately, we didn't beat Catholic High Baton Rouge here in Baton Rouge, but he did have one of his best games against them. Really played a great game his last game. Again, come out of football, sometimes a little rusty, but Nick was kind of an enforcer. When we had to get somebody to get some rebounds to stop guys inside, he was my first guy. I said, Nick, go get that guy, and he could stop.
Smart kid.
Yeah, he is. He's really bright.
What I love is Coach has these football players.
Yeah.
You always got 2 or 3 that are tough that can rebound.
Love to have
you and Hightower had that relationship,
That's
like
right.
you said.
That's right.
You don't always have that at the schools.
Not always, but we do. And yeah, look, I'll tell you, I welcome football guys because they bring that physicality sometimes that we need, we don't get. And, we've had a bunch, and again, Jack Best was one of the best ever. Nick Beckwith brought that physicality. And it just makes us, a better basketball team.
I want to throw some more greats that have come out of the school. Brandon Mouton, Texas basketball, UT.
Yes, Final Four.
Final Four.
Lost to Carmelo Anthony. I tell the story, he held Carmelo Anthony to, I think, 24 points that night.
Just 24.
He was
Just
averaging
24.
about 30.
Wow. Walker Howard, who's at Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Did that shock you?
Yes, it did. I never could get Walker to come play basketball. Jamie played for me. For some reason, a sophomore year, and I think they're trying to say, man, let's get ready for football, But Jamie could shoot the rock now. I mean, I'm telling you, he could shoot it. And Walker played, I take it back, Walker played his freshman year. Great job. And then I couldn't get him to come out.
Sloan Wright, who's a walk-on at LSU from STM.
Yeah.
And Sam Schofield, great DB at Tulane.
Tulane, baby.
Was a great player at
Greenway,
STM.
Sam, one of the best we've ever had.
We got more we're going to talk about. We can't mention everybody. And I'm gonna pull back to Kurt. We're going to go with some old school names, too, before we're done, in football especially. But Coach will throw out some more of his basketball guys. We'll be right back.
What does that bug man do?
Not only do we do pest control, we do odor control, bat removal, moisture control, rodents, and of course, bed bug control. Give the bug man a call. We get them before they get you.
Gros Savon Lodge, the true sportsman's paradise. Gros Savon Lodge has fresh and saltwater fishing, alligator hunting, waterfowl hunting, and eco tours located south of Lake Charles, Louisiana. Give them a call at 337-598-2357. That number to call again is 337-598-2357, and have the time of your life.
Welcome back. You're watching the Sports Scouting Report podcast. For all of our listeners, especially the older listeners, hit the subscribe button on YouTube. That'll help us grow. We have a lot of listeners and viewers, and we're just trying to get our subscribers to equal thousands of viewers that we have. But just take a minute if you can to help us and go hit the subscribe button on YouTube. Tell your friends, because that's what makes us grow with all the businesses and that type of stuff. But we have a lot of listeners that we hope will do that in the future. I want to go back to Danny Broussard. Danny's a legendary basketball coach, St. Thomas More High School in Lafayette. It's been there since 1982, 6 state championships. And we went through your team, Coach. We showed some highlights of your guys. I want to mention, before we get to the next subject, but I want to mention some more great players who come out of school, all sports. Spencer Tatum, who I know personally, went to Ohio U as first place, sacks Brock Berlin. with
Yeah.
the Miami Hurricanes.
I didn't even know that. See
Yeah,
that?
and
Interesting.
Spencer's now in Arizona
They're
training.
training golfers, huh?
Rom, the number one golfer in
Yeah,
the world.
yeah.
And I did his highlight tape. Isn't that something way back?
Awesome. Spencer's a great kid.
Andre Huval, center at UL.
Center at UL, yeah.
Did a great job.
Never recruited, a walk-on,
yeah.
and makes first team all conference.
Chris Fisher was a walk-on center at UL.
Fisher?
Yeah, it's not even on my
I
list.
tell you what, man, you good.
Hunter Bacheron playing tight end at UL.
UL.
Tucker Nims,
Oh, an attorney now.
yeah, Buck
attorney.
Monclaw. How about that?
Big Buck.
That's going
man.
back to the
Buck,
way back.
Buck was my starting center. Hey,
It's a tight end for Jamie Howard.
quick story about Buck. We're playing at Crowley High School, and we have this play where we shouldn't probably do it, but we line up on the wrong side of the court, and they don't catch it, and so there's nobody there, right? We give it to Buck. Buck dunks it.
What?
Now, 2 stories. The goal wasn't 10-foot crowd. That's why Buck dunked it. Also,
If he's
my
watching.
film guy was getting popcorn. We didn't get it on
Y'all didn't get it on film?
So Buck has no evidence
He
that
was
he
eating
dunked it.
popcorn. You don't have a backup film guy? Just one, huh?
The popcorn. He went get popcorn. He missed the second half.
And I want to mention this. John Corbella, one of the greatest kickers to ever come out of the Acadiana area, went to
Yes.
LSU.
Yes.
I saw him kick a 60-yarder in the rain, a hurricane.
Yeah.
They don't play those games anymore.
No, right.
It was
Yeah.
played at a junior high, 8 inches of water. But John's son might be walking on to LSU from Jesuit.
Is that right?
A kicker.
I didn't
Did
realize
you know that?
No, I didn't realize
Yeah,
that. That's
Jesuit
awesome.
High School in New
Wow.
Orleans.
Awesome.
We're going to save some of your guys' names before we end the show
All right.
and some other players. We can't get them all in. But, Coach, I want to ask you about basketball.
Yeah.
McMahon at LSU.
Yeah.
Had a rough year.
Yeah.
You've had those times.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you have to tell the LSU fans being a one-year guy? I mean, look, the conference is tough.
Yeah, no
Tennessee, Kentucky,
No doubt.
Florida, A&M's improved. Auburn's pretty good with Pearl.
Yeah.
They just hired a great coach at Ole Miss.
Yeah.
From Texas.
No doubt.
Blair
No-
Beard.
Here, no doubt.
What do you think of McMahon and Ken? It's going to be hard, but what do you
Yeah.
think about it?
Well, you and I talked about this off the air. I went to the clinic last year, and he was one of the speakers. And Lee, it's just something about, I've been at a bunch of clinics, and you just get a feel, And I tell you the truth, I know he had a rough year, but I think this guy can really coach. And I love what he got those. I told you this too. He played all 3 of those Louisiana guys that he got coming back, and those guys are all great high school players. I think they're going to bring a lot to this team this year. And again, you got to be patient with him, but McMahon can coach.
And he had to throw the freshmen in that were rawled out this past year.
Yeah, I mean,
One from DeMatha,
Yeah.
6'7", one from California, 6'10".
Yeah.
And it's hard to watch them sometimes because
Right.
even though I didn't play pro ball or college ball, but seeing a guy go to the basket and miss a layup because they're just overrunning the goal, they're just excited or whatever and raw. But
Yeah.
those guys grow up quick.
Yeah.
You've seen it.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. But I'm just telling you, I give him a couple years, but I think Coach Mann's going to do a really good job for the Tigers. Yeah.
They might get a new arena with Mulkey keeps saying it, huh? All right.
Hey,
That's
she
the
could
next.
make,
That's
she
the,
could make it happen. I
that's
can tell
the
you
that's
that.
the next thing. You're a basketball guy.
Yeah.
I just started watching women's basketball again since Simone Augustus.
Yes.
I took a little layoff.
Yeah.
When Mulkey was hired, it kind of re-energized me and a lot of LSU fans or basketball fans,
Yeah.
right? She wins a national championship with 9 transfers. She rebuilds the program.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
She's unbelievable. I got to tell you this story about Kim Mulkey. I think it's either 80 or 81. I'm a high school referee because I wanted to make a little money while I was in college, figuring, hey, not only do I can make a little money, I can learn the rules real good and become a coach, use that to my advantage, right? So it was the greatest thing I ever did, to be honest with you. So they sent me to a playoff game at Hammond High School.
Oh,
And-
no, when she was playing.
So I'm out there refereeing. I'm, 20 years
Wow.
old. Yeah, refereeing, and I got a really good guy with me, And opening tip, and about a minute into the game, there's kind of a semi-fast break, and here comes a little girl, and she whips it behind her back to this girl streaking for a layup. The whistle fell out of my mouth. 1980, high school basketball, a girl doing that? It was unbelievable what she was doing. Dribbling behind her back, between her legs. Needless to say, she was, kind of cute, and I was young. I don't think I called any fouls on her that night. I think she got away with a little bit of hacks. I don't think I called too many fouls on her. But I'm just telling you, I walked to her like,
You're amazed.
Who is this girl? And then next thing I know, I see her on TV at Louisiana Tech, right? Winning national championships. So that's how I know Kim Bulky. She doesn't have a clue who I am, but I did referee her game in 19. So Kim, if you're listening, I was the guy that let you get away with all those fouls back then.
And proof that she was a heck of a basketball player in high school.
She was
at Hammond.
She was unbelievable.
From Tickfaw, I think, Louisiana.
Yeah, that's right.
I want to throw out some more players that have come out of the program. One of coaches, Brad Boyd, broke all kind of records.
Yeah.
At
USL.
At USL.
Yeah.
Caleb Holstein went to Louisiana Tech, quarterback.
Yeah, he was.
Nate Cox, quarterback, finished at Nevada at 6'9". Started at Tech.
I'm telling you, I'll say this until I die. I think Nate Cox should have played college basketball. A 6'9", he could stroke it, man. He would be.
Tried to get him on the team.
Oh no, he played his whole 4 years. Oh, he was a great player for us.
He should have stayed.
He'd averaged double figures and everything. But
6'9".
but he should have went to. Yeah, he should have. The college basketball guys missed out on him. Is what I'm trying to say.
Wow.
They should have recruited him.
Wow. Bo Walford, great player at the
State Farm.
State Farm. John Hunley, quarterback. Tiger Besh, Jack Besh, Trevor Beggy.
Oh, Trevor! I gotta stop.
McNeese.
I gotta stop you, Trevor Beggy. He's one of my all-time favorites, man. This kid. A quick story about Trevor Beggy. He gets hurt in football, right? Oh, I saw him in a playoff game. Hip. I'm like, oh man,
Oh, no.
my God. We can't start practice with us. We're about to go to Orlando, Florida for a tournament. He finally gets cleared to go. First play, I bring him off the bench. I said, Trevor, easy, dude. Take it easy. There's a loose ball. He dives on the floor out of bounds for the loose ball. I said, Trevor, what are you doing? He said, Coach, I can't help myself.
I got it.
Yeah, that's how he played. I love that kid.
Aggressive.
Yes.
We got to run through these real quick, but one of your favorite players for you is Bobby Champagne, which is now Champagne.
He turned his name to Champagne. Yeah. Coaching at University of Houston. Yeah.
Not a bad place to be.
Yeah.
Griffin Abear, great receiver at Tech. Playing NFL one day, I think.
Seahawks, man.
Yeah,
Seattle
yeah.
Seahawks got him on
Draft.
his- Yeah.
Christian McNeese, going Army receiver. Looks like Jack Besh.
Yeah.
Blake Champagne, ULLDN starts. Walked on Southeastern at the beginning.
Yeah.
Blake Champagne's a good player. John Carl Robertson, who you said was a phenomenal player, went to SMU.
Went to SMU. He
Basketball.
sure did, for basketball. John Carl. Saw him at the Final Four. Matter of fact, I had an extra ticket. Guess who I called? John Carl. He came meet me. We had a good visit, but a great kid. Awesome.
And last player to mention, one of the first players,
Yeah.
Al Fadal.
Fadal. Al Fadal. He saved my job. We were down at halftime. My first game ever. I'm nervous as heck. I don't get nervous for games anymore, but I'll be honest. I was nervous that
22.
game. Yeah. We down halftime. He goes to the bathroom. He comes back out. And I'm thinking, what am I going to do? He goes, Coach, I got this. Scores 22 in the second half. We beat Abbeville High. Win my first game. So I started off pretty good.
Did he
Just
become a
saved my
coach?
job.
Did he?
Yeah, he became a coach. He's coach at Turtles and ESA. Great guy. Yeah.
I got this.
I got this.
Did you ever bring that up over and over and over?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All the time.
So he's not much older.
He knows he
yeah.
saved my job.
Unbelievable. 24 said, I got this. Did you record that? Did y'all film that?
No, we didn't film that.
You
No.
missed all the good stuff.
Missed the good stuff.
Man. Even Trevor Beggy, you didn't record that?
No, we didn't record that either.
You have your cell phone with you, know what I mean? Glad to have you, Coach.
Yeah.
Appreciate you coming on.
No problem.
Trying to promote basketball. You do a great job. You're an ambassador for the state of Louisiana. We got some great high school coaches
Yeah, we do.
in the state, and we need to get basketball out more again, right?
Yeah, I
Well,
agree. I mean, we really are. It really is. Basketball in Louisiana is underrated. If you look at the college rosters of the players from Louisiana, people don't understand that. Per capita, I think at one time we were right up in the top 5 of per capita for basketball guys in college basketball. We really produce some good players. And like you said, there's some great coaches. Lee, when I first started coaching, looked across that bench, and there was a lot of guys. I don't want to say this wrong, but there were a lot of guys who really weren't basketball guys that were coaching. And you could kind of sometimes overcome that and win some games that maybe we shouldn't have won.
Yeah.
You can't do it now, man. The guys across from you, these guys are good coaches. We're blessed in Louisiana to have some great high school coaches.
And if we can keep the players in state for UL and LSU and Tulane, great programs. And there's enough talent, like Coach says. I mean, every year there's about 30 D1 basketball players.
Absolutely.
That's nothing wrong with that.
There's a lot of good ones.
I mean, Joe Dumars came out of Natchitoches Central, right? I mean, people forget where some of these guys went to school.
No doubt.
And they just go, well, Joe Dumars went to Detroit Pistons. Well, yeah, he's from Louisiana.
Yes, he is.
Benoit Benjamin, Robert Parrish went to Woodlawn and Shreveport. Ethan Martin went to Lehigh, was a great one for Dale Brown. And, just go on and all the great players. Rudy Macklin was a Louisville native, but wow, what an impact he made here in Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
But again, thank you, Danny. Appreciate you.
Thanks for having me on.
Appreciate you.
it.
And one of his 6 rings he can't wear all 6 because it would weigh him down if he was trying to coach, but wears one of his favorite, his 3rd championship at St. Thomas More out of the 6. We'll see everybody on Friday.
Thanks for listening to the Sports Scouting Report podcast with Lee Burkeen.